Greetings. Greetings to all. Greetings to all dams, columns, levees, foundations, bones, elasticity, and the rest of the things out in nature. Now, why did I name those things? I named those things because of the incident that happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock last night. And let me get something from nature to further illustrate my point. So first you snap. Then you break. Then you crash. Now, what are these things in the background right here? And how do they relate to this topic or to this subject? Good question. Very good question. So, I saw what happened last night. Both Will Smith and Jada laughed at first. I think what happened is Will Smith turned to his wife and saw her reaction to the joke. Now, why would this topic be so snappy and so sensitive? Because she have alopecia. So let's take it from there, from a herbalist perspective. Well, what is alopecia? Wrong question. That should be the number 2 question. Number 2? Yes. Well, what's the number 1 question? The number 1 question should be, what causes alopecia? What causes alopecia? Yes. Okay. Well, if that's the case, what causes alopecia? Okay. So, what causes alopecia is environmental factors, hormones, nutrition or the lack thereof, stress, yes, I did say stress, radiation, melanin, and envy or jealousy. What do you mean? Well, why stress? How does stress fit up in this? You see these salt and pepper? And you see these? All of this happened in 1 month's time when I lost my mother because of stress. First, I snapped, I broke, and I crashed. And it put me in a depression for 3 months straight. And it didn't help that people was laughing at me because I was crying because my mother died. And they were making fun of me. So let's get into it. So the second question, what is alopecia? Alopecia is, generally speaking, is the loss of hair. Specifically speaking, you have 3 types of alopecia. 3 types? What do you mean? Okay. So, with alopecia, you have areata alopecia, which is the scalp. The most prevalent kind. You also have totalis alopecia, which means no hair, no hair, no hair, no hair, no hair on the head. Then you also have Universalist alopecia. For anybody that saw the movie Powder, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Powder did not have any hair all over his body, nowhere. That is Universalist alopecia. Now what does that mean, man? Remember I said melanin was a part of alopecia? Melanin? Yes. What does melanin have to do with this? Well, you have 3 types of melanin. You have eumelanin, the brown and the black skin. We're dominant in those. You also have phenylalanine, which white people and Caucasian and lighter skinned people, the red hair and the blonde hair, that is the type of melanin and the characteristics that shows up in those type of people. Well, what is the third one? The third type of melanin is neuromelanin. Makes up your brain matter. The colors in your brain. That's why it's gray matter, still melanin. But what are you saying? There's another component. UV. UV. You mean like ultraviolet rays? Yes. There's also 3 types of ultraviolet rays. 3 types of ultraviolet rays? Yes. Ultraviolet A, which is the good one, the one that's protective to your skin, to your whole system, that bonds with melanin, fights off cancer, acts as an antioxidant, and so on. You have UVB, which is the one that's cancerous, the one that contain the malignancy, the malignant cancer and tumors and so on. And you have ultraviolet C, which is the ones that lasers are made from. Now, how are all of these interconnected and related to alopecia? Good question. So, when it comes to alopecia, I did say environmental factors. Okay. So environmental factors would be the chemicals, the impurities, the pollutants, the chemicals, the toxins that leaches things from your body that your body needs to grow hair. By the way, this is melanin also. Yes. And when somebody have red hair or blonde hair, that's also melanin. Pheomelanin. This is eumelanin. So that's the environmental factors that is one of the cause of alopecia. Another cause of alopecia is hormones. Hormones? Yes, man. Don't you know that everything that comprise of your body comes with a hormone, whether it's an emotion or whether it's a lack of? There's a hormone involved. There's a hormone that creates the melanin in our skin and our hair. Yes. There's a hormone for pretty much everything that happens in your body. The next one, nutrition. So everything that you're comprised of comes from a nutrient, a vitamin, a mineral, an amino acid, an enzyme, and so on. Okay. Stress. Oh my goodness, stress? How could stress do anything with losing your hair? Oh, so you never seen somebody stress so much that their hair either turn gray or they lose their hair? Because the stress is so great that you literally can use that stress to make you lose your hair? Yes. Radiation. That should be obvious. Yeah, but she don't have cancer. She don't look like she have cancer. I didn't hear nothing about her having cancer. Yes, you're right. But I guarantee she used the microwave. Radiation. I guarantee she have a cell phone. Radiation. I guarantee she have a modem. Radiation. I guarantee there's some type of Wi-Fi around her on a regular basis. Radiation. Yes. And the last one on my list, envy or jealousy. Envy or jealousy? What does that have to do with losing my hair? Well, you know when you're bitter and you're jealous and you're envious because you think that you're supposed to be somewhere else in life and you're not satisfied with where you are in life, and now you're loathing somebody? That can also add to alopecia, the loss of your hair. Now, what do you mean? Well, when it comes to the human body is a biochemical computer, a biological computer. Not like the cell phone, not like a laptop, not like a desktop, but like a desktop, a human computer. So when it comes to something like that, you have chemicals in your body that your body create. And your body created because of minerals or the lack thereof. Your body created because of stress or the lack thereof. Your body created because of melanin or the lack thereof. Your body created because of environmental factors or the lack thereof. Your body created because of hormones or the lack thereof. Yes. So you see these things in the background? This is a total another video because these are some of the answers if you want to get rid of your alopecia. I said some of the answers because these are not all, but these are some of the answers when it comes to melanin. And alopecia, especially this one. Or especially this one. Or even this one. So like I said, all of these things are interconnected. It's not just one thing. It's not just two things. There's a whole bunch of things that come together that allows this to happen. Now, conversely, there are things that you can take to either prevent that or grow your hair back. So I hope somebody's listening. And I believe stress, hormones, environmental factors, melanin, nutrition, all of that played a part in what this man is going through with his family, because who knows what's going on behind closed doors. Now, generally, I don't take sides and I don't get into politics of things to say this happened to this person and look how he treated her and look how she treated him, and eventually he snapped. And then he broke. And then he crashed. And he put everything on the line and went on stage and smacked the man. Don't forget, Will Smith is not just a name. It's a brand. I'm going to say that again. Don't forget, Will Smith is not just a name. It's a brand. So by him going on stage and smacking that man, not only can you be sued, but your career can be over just by that one act. But what emotion drove that to happen? Could it be he turned at his wife and saw her face? And even though all of the traumatic things that he went through with the embarrassment and everything else, he knew what he was going home to, and he realized that he had to do something about it right away. Don't forget, he laughed, she laughed. About a minute later, this man went on the stage, smacked him. Not only did he smack him, which most people thought was a skit or a part of the program. We realized it was real when he said, "Don't you fucking mention my wife. Don't let my wife name come out your mouth." That shit is real. And guess what? This had everything to do with it. Love. You mean to tell me you abuse me? You embarrass me? You put me down, you show me up, you treat me like shit? and I go up there and do this for you, those are emotions, baby. Those are emotions. Those are some strong emotions. You mean to tell me all the things you've done to me, I'm still willing to sacrifice everything for you? Let me just tell you something. I said this on ATM Tim's channel. Go check him out, by the way. Shout out to JT, the bigger figure, by the way. Happy birthday, ZZ. Happy 5, and there's many more coming your way. I said this on ATM Tim's channel when he was gracious enough to put me on. First time on the internet on a live, very first time. One of the first thing I say is, us as black men, people don't know what we're going through, and we don't have hardly anybody to talk to about these things. People don't understand what we're going through as black men. Prime example, Will Smith is not the only one. You remember that time when Dave Chappelle turned $50 million down and went to Africa? And they're like, man, this man crazy. How he gonna turn $50 million down? You see all them things I just named? He had to go to Africa. Africa was calling him, the motherland, to go get some peace, some serenity, some quiet time to think. He had to go around some humanity again. He had to get away from all of this radiation, all of this glamour, all of this Hollywood, all of the environmental factors, all of the stress, all of the lack of nutrition. And when he went over there, you saw how he came back. He came back stronger than ever, with bigger balls. That's not a coincidence, people. That's not a coincidence. So you see this man, Will Smith? I say it on ATM Tim's channel. I use the example of that guy that said, I'm going to do my girlfriend, I'm going to do my ex-wife, and then I'm going to do myself afterwards. Why? Because everybody have a snapping point where you first snap, you break, and then you crash. Alopecia is no different. So if emotions can cause my hair to turn from melanin to the lack thereof, now you see how it's connected? Melanin to the lack thereof. I think these things are important to know. Stress to the lack thereof. Environmental factors to the lack thereof. Nutrition to the lack thereof. Yes. So you see when Will Smith did that, that was a love thing. That was emotional. That was shit that was being kept inside for so long that you hit a point where you just snap and you break and you crash. Because you don't know what this man have to go home and face. But he does. With all of those emotions involved, with all of the lack of nutrition, the environmental factors, the envy, all of these things combine to make this man snap, break, and crash. So on the outside, it might have looked like this man was tripping. And it might even seem like he's overreacting. And some people are saying, so you're trying to tell me that you're so soft that you can't take a joke? That's not it. That's not it. It's because of these things that caused this thing to happen. And who knows what's going to happen from this point on? It's on TV. It's recorded. So Chris Rock got a case. Chris Rock got a lawsuit. But I believe because they're friends, and us as melanated dominant people, yes, Caucasian people have melanin also. Why do you think their eyes are gray and blue and green? And that's melanin. Why do you think their hair is yellow, some people call it blonde, and red, which is kind of light brown, and so on? They have melanin also. But we're not talking about them right now. We're talking about melanin dominance. Us. By the way, plants and animals have melanin. That's the whole point of me showing you these things. Melanin dominant, which is also good for your hair. Have your hair grow back. And this is a total new, another video. I'm not gonna go into it right now with these things. This is another video. But these are to illustrate that there are things you can use out there to grow your hair back. There are things that you can use out there to get your melanin back. So what do I mean? You see the melanin in your skin as black people? As melanin dominant, I don't like using the word black. As melanin dominant people, it so happens to be a natural sunscreen. And remember that UVB I was talking about, ultraviolet B? Yes. Remember that one? By us having the melanin, we're protected from skin cancer. UVA, ultraviolet A, is 500 times greater than UVB or UVC. So that is the beneficial one that gets in. But because Caucasian people don't have as much melanin, it's easy for them to get a malignancy or cancer. Us, on the other hand, is not. Well, how are you gonna say that in black people get skin cancer? Yeah, you get skin cancer because of the stuff that you're putting on your skin. These environmental factors that I was talking about. The lack of nutrition. The stress. The hormones. Yes, all of that plays a part in it. By the way, Did you know, in order for us as melanated dominant people to get vitamin D, all we have to do is get in the sun so we can get some UVA, ultraviolet A rays, to bond with the cholesterol sulfate in our skin that gets converted to vitamin D3. A lot of black people don't like the sun. Oh, it's too hot. And they believe the hype. Oh, I'm gonna get skin cancer. Yeah, but what causes skin cancer? Is it the ultraviolet B that comes in with that skin tan lotion? With all them chemicals and those environmental factors, the aluminum, the mercury, the lead, and everything else that gets in? Because now you're using these things to block out the melanin and allow these lights to come in and get into the epidermis of your skin, and now you have skin cancer? Huh. So you see, when Will Smith acted the way he acted, I don't think he really had too much of a choice. He was at that snap, break, and crash point. Because he had to go home to something more serious than what you think the Oscars were. Think about that for a minute. You mean to tell me I'm getting paid at least $50 million a film